Good evening, students. As I discussed the dimensions of business environment yesterday to you, so our next topic is the features of new economic policy 1991. This is also known as LPG model of 1991. L stands for liberalization, P stands for privatization, and G stands for globalization. So this LPG model was introduced in 1991. First of all, we have to understand new economic policy 1991. In 1991, Government of India announced a new industrial policy introducing economic reforms. These reforms sought to liberate the industry from the chains of licensing system. This was liberalization. Then this followed privatization, and this followed globalization. Privatization, which reduced the role of public sector. The policy also encouraged the foreign private participants in the industrial development of the country with the spirit of globalization of the economy of the country. So, this is the LPG model of 1991. Here we are discussing about the features of new economic policy 1991. So there are three main features of this policy, that is liberalization, privatization and globalization. First feature of this new economic policy is liberalization. Liberalization means freeing the Indian business and industry from all unnecessary government controls and restrictions. Liberalization of Indian industry has taken place with respect to all of these points. So first of all, we have to understand the meaning of liberalization. Liberalization means freedom. In this feature of new economic policy 1991, Indian business and industries being made free from all unnecessary government controls and restrictions which were previously was imposed on these industries and businesses. Before 1991, our Indian business and industry was bounded by many kinds of licensing requirements to be establishment and running of the business. But after 1991, all these restrictions and unnecessary government controls have been removed from these industries and businesses also. What were the steps which had taken by the government to make free Indian industry and business from these unnecessary requirements and unnecessary controls and restrictions? First step was abolishing licensing requirements in most of the industries. Means freedom of opening or starting production units without any licensing requirement, without any unnecessary document requirements and unnecessary control or rules and regulations. So everyone could establish their own industries, could open their own industries without any intervention of the government to be started. Second step is freedom in deciding the scale of business activities. Means no restriction on expansion of the business activities. Whatever being produced, whatever being manufactured in the business manufacturing units, etc. There was no restriction on deciding the scale of business, whether it was a large scale of business or small scale of business. So production could be done on any scale of business, whether it is a large scale business, medium scale business or small scale business. Third step was removal of restriction on movement of goods and services. There was no restriction after 1991 on the movement of goods and services from one state to another state, from one place to another place. So there was freedom for the movement of goods and services from one state to another state without any licensing authority, without any restriction and control of the government. Fourth step is freedom in fixing the prices of goods and services. There was not a strict control of the government in fixing the prices of goods and services. Producers or manufacturers could fix their own prices of goods and services according to their manufacturing cost or according to their production cost. Fifth step is reduction in tax rates. Government had reduced the tax rates which were imposed on the production, which were imposed on the produced goods and services during at that time.